Okay, so when we're balancing chemical equations, the first thing we want to do is figure out what elements we have that we need to balance. So we have iron, we have hydrogen, and you notice how we have sulfate here and over here, it doesn't change. Now, if it was split up on this side, I'd want to do it separately, but because they're as a set, I'm going to keep it as a set just to make my life easier. It's supposed to be Fe, not F. Alright, so on this side I have one iron, on this side I have two irons. On this side I have two hydrogens, on this side I have two hydrogens, and on this side I have one sulfate, on this side I have three sulfates. All I've done right here is written down what I have. Now, I have one iron here and two on this side. That means I need to multiply this side by 2. Notice I said the word multiply. By doing that, it's like I'm putting parentheses around this and I'm multiplying the entire thing by 2. So this 1 changes to a 2. There's no other elements here, so I don't have to worry about changing anything else. Now hydrogens, I have 2 on this side and 2 on that side. Sulfates, I have 1 on this side and 3 on this side. That means I need to go and multiply this by 3, so I have 3 sulfates. But if you notice, that also messed up my hydrogen. So remember, this is a multiply, so that's 3 times 2. So that makes this into a 6 now, which means that messes my hydrogens up. So on this side, I'm going to multiply this by 3, because 3 times 2 is 6, and that's how many I need. Okay, that's the first one. I'm going to do questions 1 through 5 on this video, and then 6 through 10 on the next video. Alright, we're going to do the exact same pattern again. We have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Here we have 2 carbons on this side, and 1 carbon on this side. We have 6 hydrogens over here, and 2 hydrogens over here. And oxygens, we have 2 here, and then you notice we have 1 here, but we have 2 more here. So all together, between the 2 compounds, we have 3 oxygens. Notice that the plus sign here means that these compounds are being added. They're not being multiplied. Keep that in mind. So I have 2 carbons here, 1 carbon here. That means I need to multiply the CO2 by 2 in order to get 2 carbons. In the process, we actually ended up changing the amount of oxygens we have. We actually now have 4 oxygens. We also have this one here. That means we have 5 oxygens total now. So when we go to the hydrogens, we have 6 hydrogens on this side. We have 2 on this side. In order to make this 2 and 6, or in order to make this 6 and 6, we have to multiply this by 3, because 2 times 3 is 6. Now, in the process, I messed up these oxygens, so I now have 3 oxygens here. So that means I have 7 on this side total. That's going to be a problem, because if you look here, whatever we do, we have to multiply it by 2 on the left-hand side. There's a couple different ways to go about doing this. The easy way is to multiply the first one by 2 and then just start completely over. So we have now 4 carbons on this side rather than 2. And we have 12 hydrogens rather than 6. So we need to fix that. So the 4 carbons on this side, in order to get 4 over here, this now becomes a 4. Which means we now have 4 times 2 rather than 2 times 2. So that means right now, let's do the hydrogens before we add up the oxygens on the right hand side. So we have 12 hydrogens over here now, and we still only have 6. Well, since we need 12, we're going to multiply this one by 6 to make 12. So now instead of 3 times 1, we now have 6 times 1. So that means we have 8 oxygens here and 6 oxygens here. Which comes out to be 14. So what times 2 is equal to 14? The answer to that is 7. So the answer would be 2, 7, 6, and 4. That was a really hard one. So if you followed along on that one, good job. Okay. The next one. We have potassium, oxygen, hydrogen. We have hydrogen in 2 different places. Notice once again we have PO4 and PO4. So once again, I'm going to keep that in the group like I did those SO4s earlier because it stays within the same anion. The polyatomic anion doesn't split up. So I have 1 potassium here and 3 here. I have 1 oxygen here and 1 oxygen here. 4 hydrogens because there's 1 here and there's 3 here. And 2 hydrogens. And 1 phosphate and 1 phosphate. Alright, so starting from the top. We want to multiply this by 3 to get the potassiums to balance out. Notice that also changed our oxygens and our hydrogens. So oxygens, we now have 3 oxygens rather than just 1. And for hydrogens, we have 3 here. And we have 3 here, which means we actually have a total of 6 now. Alright, so oxygens, we have 3 on this side. We only have 1 on this side, so we're going to multiply this by 3 in order to make this into 3. Hydrogens, we have 6 on this side. We now have 6 on this side. So those all balance out. And then the phosphates, they never had to change, and so we're good. Number 4. We have 10 oxygen and hydrogen. 1 on each side for 10. 2 oxygens here, 1 oxygen here. 2 hydrogens here and 2 hydrogens here. So the 10s are balanced. Oxygens, we have 2 here, we only have 1 here. That means we're going to have to multiply this by 2 in order to balance out the oxygens. In the process, we ended up getting 4 hydrogens rather than 2 because 2 times 2 is 4. So if we go on this side, the next one down is hydrogens. We have 4 hydrogens. We have 2 on this side. We're going to multiply 2 because 2 times 2 is 4. Alright, we are going to have one more for this video. Get back up there. Okay. Nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen. We have 1 nitrogen on this side and 1 nitrogen on this side. 3 hydrogens here and only 2 on the right hand side. And we have 2 on this side for oxygen, and we have 1 and 2 on the right hand side. So the nitrogens are balanced, so we're okay there. Hydrogens, we have 3 here and 2 here. Well, the lowest number that's divisible by both 2 and 3 would be 6. So we need to make both of these sides equal to 6. So if I look at this one, if I multiply this by 2, 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So we have 6 on this side now, and then 3 over here, because 3 times 2 is equal to 6. In the process, I actually messed up a whole bunch of stuff. On nitrogens, we now have 2 nitrogens over here, and on oxygens, we have 3 more. So we have 3 times 1 here, plus 1 more there. So that means that's 4 now. Okay, so we can either go back and change our nitrogens or change our oxygens. So let's go back up to the top and fix our nitrogens first. So We're going to multiply this one by 2 to make 2 nitrogens. So that means it also has 4 oxygen. Sorry, 2 oxygens. And we have 3 here, which means we have 5 oxygens total. Well, we're going to have the exact same problem as we did in the previous one with the carbons, where no matter what we do, we can't times something by 2 and have it come out to 5. I'm going to show you the shortcut this time. So I need 5, but whatever I do, I have to multiply it by 2. So I'm going to put 5 halves there. Now, there's only one way to get rid of a half. 1/2, the opposite of 1/2, is 2. So we're going to multiply the entire equation by 2. So this 2 now becomes a 4. The 2's cancel, so that means you're left over with a 5. That 2 now becomes a 4. And this 3 now becomes a 6. So the answer is 4, 5, 4, 6. And that is the end of the first 5 of this worksheet. And I will catch you on the next 5 if you still need the help.